Anyone can remember, there was a small island on the edge of the world, the last stop before the new world. And its people traveled the world, taking their place in the memory of the world. And the years passed and the world changed, and that island on the edge of the world found itself in the center of the world, connecting the world, making the world smaller by thinking big. Dreaming dreams the world could share, sharing with the world our own very special part of the world. And what have we discovered on this little island in the middle of the world? We've discovered the world likes the way we do things, and there's nothing in this world we can't achieve. Imagine a tournament, the envy of the world, a festival of rugby. More than participation, celebration, a world of memories for the world to share. We are ready to create something unforgettable. Ireland, ready for the world.
It'll bring memories of past glories. It'll bring new heights of belief and ambition. It'll bring the boldest hopes and the bravest dreams. It'll bring everyone to their feet. It'll bring a roar into every voice. It'll bring this great game into a nation's heart. It'll bring the world to us and us to the world. Women's Rugby World Cup, Ireland, August 2017. Bring it.
Long before anyone can remember, there was a small island on the edge of the world, the last stop before the new world. And its people traveled the world, taking their place in the memory of the world. And the years passed and the world changed, and that island on the edge of the world found itself in the center of the world, connecting the world, making the world smaller by thinking big. Dreaming dreams the world could share, sharing with the world our own very special part of the world. And what have we discovered on this little island in the middle of the world. We've discovered the world likes the way we do things, and there's nothing in this world we can't achieve. Imagine a tournament, the envy of the world, a festival of rugby. More than participation, celebration, a world of memories for the world to share. We are ready to create something unforgettable. Ireland, ready for the world.
It'll bring memories of past glories. It'll bring new heights of belief and ambition. It'll bring the boldest hopes and the bravest dreams. It'll bring everyone to their feet. It'll bring a roar into every voice. It'll bring this great game into a nation's heart. It'll bring the world to us and us to the world. Women's Rugby World Cup, Ireland, August 2017. Bring it.
Good afternoon. You're very welcome to the Belfield Bowl in UCD for today's match between Ireland women and Canada women in the second of 3 November internationals. We're going to observe a minute's silence. For the brother of Ashley Baxter, who passed away recently. So that minute of silence was in memory of Cameron Baxter. I'm joined today by Fiona Coughlin, my regular commentating partner in crime, and also a guest today from Canada. We have Brian Kelly, who's the Communications and Media Manager for Rugby Canada. I'm delighted to have you on board, Brian. What are you guys looking forward to out of this game today?
Well, thanks very much for having me. It's nice to bring a bit of an international flavor to this test match here today. It's a fantastic day for us in Canadian colours. We've got some of our returning veterans on the field: Kelly Russell, Karen Paquin, Alyssa Allery, and Maggie Harvey. It's going to be a great day for us, and I think a great day for Ireland as well.
Yeah, no, it's great to have Canada back here. The last time they were here was pre-2006 World Cup, and we brought them out west to Galway. So it's nice to have them here where the home of the Women's Rugby World Cup is going to be. And I'm excited to see them play. You know, in the World Series, they were undisputed the best team there, and it's pretty much a whitewash for them, and some brilliant performances, and now strengthening their team even more, bringing back some world-class players.
Absolutely. Canada could hardly be in better form and represent the second leg of a seriously tough autumn schedule for Ireland as we finish with New Zealand next week. But Canada currently ranked number 3, deposed by England's win over France and Ireland over the last couple of weeks from the number 2 position. So can be looking to re-establish themselves and perhaps get that number 2 spot back.
Well, led right there by their captain, Kelly Russell. It's great to have her back in the Canadian colours in the 15 program. Had a great summer going 3-0 in the Women's Rugby Super Series, and there's a lot of top quality competition in the top 6 or 8 in women's rugby, and I think testing ourselves against this Irish team is great for the road to the Women's World Cup next year.
Okay, that's just knocked on by Murray Coyne off that kick ahead. So a knock on. So first scrum of the game would be to Canada.
Yeah, Mairead was flawless under the high ball last week. You know, early pressure there from Canada, and probably something she won't be happy with. She was setting out to fix it during the game, but this first scrum will be interesting. Pretty inexperienced Irish pack. First caps for Nicola Friday and Annika Pleece in the back row. It'll be interesting to see how they go, and the props as well. You know, probably getting a rare start. Yeah,
only Paula Fitzpatrick actually remains in the pack from the starting lineup from last week. So Chelsea Guthrie to feed the first scrum. Always an important moment in a game, Fiona, first scrum. And that's solid by Ireland, and kicked off the base there by Kelly Russell, the Canadian captain. A tackle there from Ciara Cooney. Fiona Reedy getting a bit of a knock in the head there. That's turnover ball for Ireland. Might have been forward, yes indeed.
Disappointing there. It was good tackle by Fee Reedy and a great turnover by Paula Fitz, and you know, it shouldn't be a forward pass. They should be looking for getting it deep and 2 passes, moving away from that point of contact.
So Brian, what kind of game would you expect Canada to play? Take it on up front, or looking to spin wide?
Has quite a strong forward pack that really likes to establish some go forward ball. They're led by, you know, a really strong front row of Carolyn McEwen, Laura Russell, and Daleka Menon. But then they'll also like to play a really wide, expansive style of game as this scrum just goes to ground quickly. And they have some really explosive backs throughout. You've got Andrea Burke from the inside center position, who's just an absolute leader amongst the team. And then Alex Tessier at outside center. She's had a little bit of time at fly half as well. Now she's moved out to her rightful position at outside center. And then the 2 wingers can score from anywhere on the field. That's Alyssa Allery and Magali Harvey. So big presence from the forwards, but also some skill out wide from the backs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Magali Harvey. I'm just checking out some of her YouTube, and she's a hell of a player. So that's all knocked on in the centre there by Canada. I think there was ball not quite going to Andrea Burke rather.
Yeah, just back to Magali Harvey, World Player of the Year in 2014 after some scintillating performances at the World Cup. She really lit up the tournament, ably helped by her teammates around her.
Yes, that was phenomenal. And Canada, it was so great to have women's rugby on the biggest stage. The media were absolutely in love with Canada's team and the tries that Magali was scoring and the tries that the entire team was scoring. So it was great to put women's rugby on the map through, TSN, our broadcast rights provider, which was so fantastic. And, I think a lot of people now realize that women's 15s rugby, wow, there's some great tries. It's exciting. And I think there's a lot of excitement building towards next year's World Cup.
Yeah, and sustained by Canada in the Olympic sevens, coming bronze position.
That was absolutely massive for Canadian rugby. People just loved it. And there was a great scrum. And, one of the bronze medal winners there, Kelly Russell, getting it out the back.
First touch from Magali Harvey, but well tackled by Alison Miller there. But an ominous scrum that from the Canadians. Paul Fitzpatrick in on the tackle there as they look to establish good position with their forward runners. Nice tip on pass. And that's popped through. Oh, just gone forward off Karen Packin. Laura Russell with a good break there. So I'm looking just to settle it down. Take a deep breath, clear it. Establish themselves in the game. Tom Tierney will be a little concerned at the start the round has had here.
I suppose this team, Pack in particular, haven't played any time together, so they're looking to gel and get a little bit cohesive. It's going to take a bit of time, but that scrum was really powerful from Canada, and it was something that you'd be afraid of coming into the game with their experienced Pack. Again,
that's turned over. Zoe Graduate took it in well, but it's popped out on the Canadian side. Now's an opportunity. They can spin it wide. And a step back inside from Allery. Possibly she had Julianne Zussman coming around there and might have found her, but she's taken it back inside, and Canada just 5 metres now from the Irish line. Taking around the tight. And Allery actually moving out to the open side. But Canada keeping it in tight. That's going to be a penalty for side entry, or for offside at the base of that. But important that Ireland hold out here against the try. Canada again just keeping it tight. Blackwood now goes around the side with a solid Irish defence around the fringe. And again, Canada get a crucial yard, but held up and possible choke tackle here. Ireland seeking to keep that up as it inches just over the line now. But that is held up. However, because it had crossed the line, it's a 5 metre scrum rather than an Irish scrum. What's gone back for the penalty for the offside? Beg your pardon. So Russell takes it up in the shadow of the post now. Guthrie. Committed Irish defence here, but that's looks like an obstruction there, but yes, the referee's arm was out. However, she's still playing on, so perhaps not going to give that. Again, Canada look to go around the fringe. They're only a metre away now. Possibly referee goes in to inspect and has given the try. Canada 5, Ireland 0.
Not quite sure who got their hands on that one. Just trying to see. It looks like it was Deleka Menon. A great forward pressure there by the Canadians after that turnover ball, about 6 or 7 or 8 phases before they finally power over the line. I think Francois Ratier is going to be happy with his team's early start.
Great start for Canada there. I have to say, I thought there was an obstruction just before. Begging your pardon, Brian.
No, there was an obstruction, but the referee didn't call it, so you have to play on from that. The Irish girls coughed up the ball a little bit too easily in their own 22, which allowed Canada to put sustained pressure on them and move the ball over to the corner here and then back through the centre and through their forwards. And that's what you want to stop. You want to stop Canadian forwards getting momentum like they did there. They've really strong ball carriers.
As I look down at the two teams, and it's not just because Ireland are further away, but I think they do look noticeably smaller up front than the Canadians, which kind of, we're a bit used to that. Canada has always produced big, strong, athletic players in men's game as well.
Over the years to have some big, strong forwards, and as we've seen over the last few years with this women's team, that's where their attack out wide starts, is by having a strong presence in the forward pack, getting the ball going forward, creating turnovers and giving a platform for their fast, speedy, skilled backs out wide. So Andrea Burke adding the extra 2 points, and it's now 7-0 for Canada.
So Nikki Coy restarts. New halfback combination as well for Ireland, with Mary Healy and Nikki Coy replacing Larissa Muldoon and Nora Stapleton. So again, a little less experience in there than we normally would have. Blackwood. Canada punching it up the middle. Good tackle by both Nicola Fowley and Senna Nupu, almost stripping that, but not quite. That's better tackling from Ireland now. So a deliberate rotation strategy here from Tom Tierney, Fiona. Oh, that's a clean break up the centre by Burke again. Kicked ahead. Murray Coyne goes back under serious pressure. 3 or 4 Canadians going to be there first to her. Does well initially. Alison Miller in, and indeed Canada guilty of not rolling away after the tackle, and Murray Coyne survived that little onslaught pretty well.
Well, great break there made by Andrea Burke. And a good option to kick downfield, but a little too excited, not rolling away in the tackle. So another good line break here for Canada as they've maintained possession here in the first sort of 10 minutes.
A lot has to be said about Canada's programmes, domestic programmes, and their setup at national level. You know, they don't get to play as many international games as Ireland. They don't have Six Nations, so it's Summer Series, Nations Cup or World Cup. So although we say they're more experienced, probably similar in the caps front as the Irish girls here today.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of opportunity for our players to get test match rugby, so that's why we really enjoy these opportunities for the November test matches and the Women's Rugby Super Series, really giving these athletes a chance to represent their country and prepare for the World Cup. And some of these players are in their 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th cap, which is quite incredible.
I saw Fiona, I read your report in your interview with News Talk during the week. It was saying that the Canadians, and in fact it's not all that long ago that the Irish players were paying for their own tours, but this is only kind of the second tour.
Their second tour fully funded. Before that they were fundraising themselves to play for their country.
Yes, so that was established by the Monty Heald Fund, and it's so great for our players to not have to worry about fundraising and, you know, pulling money out of their own pockets to wear their national team jersey. So this is only the second tour for them where this Monty Heald Fund is they're matching donations being put forth by the rugby community and the business community, which has been so great for them. And, you know, all the girls on this team are so happy for that fund. And, you know, it just helps with their training that they're 100% focused on their performance on field.
That's something you'd have known a bit about, Fiona. You would have straddled that period, wouldn't you, where that's knocked down by Canada, but you'd have funded a few of your own trips, I think.
Back in the early days, I suppose 2008, 2009, the IRFU fully came on board, and since then it's not something we had to worry about. And you've seen the improvement in the Irish performances since then. You know, players can just worry about what's going on the pitch, and strength and conditioning, everything is organised, and that's stepped up another level in the last year or two.
So knock on there by Canada. We'll see Ireland's first put into the scrum, I think. Interested to see if they can shore this one up. So Brian, you've enjoyed your trip over. You were over for the Canada-Ireland game last week.
Yeah, I was working with the men's team last week at Aviva Stadium. Sold out, over 52,000 people. That was a great atmosphere, a great venue, and a really good week for our men's team. They, you know, I think the scoreline doesn't quite reflect how the game was overall, but it was a good week for us. And now I'm working with our women's team, preparing for the World Cup next year, and helping out with the test match here today and the New Zealand game as well. So it's been fun being in Ireland, and I think you guys are going to be great hosts next year for sure.
That's the plan, that's for sure. It was a big hit there by Alex Tressier on Senna Nupu to force that turnover there. Chelsea Guthrie trying to have a little snipe there. Again, Canada in good field position after that. Oh. Interesting maneuver.
Bit of miscommunication there from the forwards. This is the first game for these players together after about a week training, so I think they're having a few little jitters here and there, but little miscommunications are going to happen. I think Canada just needs to stay focused and keep going forward with the possession that they've had here so far in the first half.
Well, they're doing that pretty well so far. You've got a couple of sisters there who've had an interesting situation with the captaincy. Laura Russell and Kelly Russell, you were explaining, have flip-flopped the captaincy between them.
Yeah, Kelly Russell, what a leader, what an inspirational player, both in the 7s and 15s games. She just won a bronze medal at the Olympics in Rio, along with Karen Paquin on the flank there as well, with her head taped up. And Kelly's been a part of this system for about 10 years now. And, after their second place finish at the Women's Rugby World Cup in France, she said, my goal is now the Rio Olympics. So her sister Laura, who's wearing the number 2 position today, stepped in and held the captaincy and did a great job. They went 3-0 in the Women's Rugby Super Series this year and, got us to 2nd in the world rankings. We're now 3rd. And now that Kelly's back, she's back over in the captaincy. And what an athletic and leadership capability family.
So, a free kick to Ireland there for, I think, an early engagement on the scrum. Nikki Kai looks like going up the line here, but it won't be an Irish line out if she kicks direct. And she's not going to find touch anyway. That's knocked backwards, I think, by Kelly Russell. So Canada get to play on. Actually, the referee has given that, even though Canada hadn't realised. Great tackle all the same by Mairead Coyne.
Well, I think the crowd's cheering a little bit too loudly. They didn't hear the whistle on that one. Bit of an unfortunate. The Kelly Russell just couldn't quite hold on to that one on this near touch line. So we'll come back for an Irish scrum here just on the other side of half.
Well, that was directly in line with us, and I have to report that I didn't think it was forward. I thought she knocked it backwards, but referee Marie Lamat from France didn't have quite the angle that we have. So we've got an injury to Ireland. That's Nikki Cahy, but she's okay.
I think just the last kick, I think Nikki, I know it wouldn't have been an Irish line, it would have been a Canadian line, but she has to find touch on that. You don't want to give Canada ball to run back, particularly with the likes of Zeusman, a full back that looking to move it out to Magley Harvey.
Again, the Canadian drive comes on, but held better this time by Ireland. Healy away, Cahy. Loop on the dummy run. Niamh Kavanagh, Nicole Fowley comes in. Zoe Gratis taking that one on. It's just Gratis again taking that one on, but not quite hard enough hitting that. That's knocked on by Nikki Cahy, but I think the referee has missed that. Indeed she has, so we play on. Fiona Hayes right around the side on that occasion. This time penalty to Ireland, not rolling away after the tackle. And a chance for Ireland to escape their own half for the first time in the match, really.
That was unfortunate. That was Carolyn McEwen, the loose head prop for Canada. Made the tackle and unfortunately just bodies all around. Couldn't quite roll away. Good call there by the referee, but it's just an unfortunate situation.
Again, Nikki Cahy not quite making touch with that. Niamh Kavanagh in with the hip, but the kick got away. Mairead Coyne now will take. Chase ahead on her own kick. Oh, and that's a big collision as Blackwood knocks it forward under pressure from Coyne. Chance for Ireland to get some quick ball. I think Mairead Coyne is feeling the after effects of that collision.
Great kick by great field and then great kick by Mairead and great chase up, but you don't want to be running into Blackwood like that. She did force the knock on, however, so it's a positive turnout for Ireland.
Too many mistakes here from Canada in the first 20 minutes. A lot of unforced errors around the breakdown, dropping the ball on kicks and things like that. So I think Canada should be happy with their possession that they've had early on here, but they just need to tighten things up here as a unit.
It's great to see here today, and you see a lot of Rugby World Cup ambassadors. They're going through a programme for the legacy of the World Cup and what's going to lead, and they're going to be at the forefront of the Women's Rugby World Cup here, and there's a lot of them here today, you know, helping out, just being a friendly face amongst the crowd and showing people where to go.
It's a great program. You don't have to be involved in rugby as a player, administrator, or anything like that to get involved ahead of the Rugby World Cup next summer. So anybody listening, check it out on irishrugby.ie.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge opportunity that's going to be involved in a brilliant event, and hopefully the sustainability of the women's game going forward.
So we resume now with the scrum, just almost 10 minutes into the Canadian half. First chance for Ireland really to maybe put a bit of pressure on Canada. Healy goes short side to Niamh Kavanagh. She struggled to hold on to it, which made the tackle a bit easier for Allery. Good hands from Reedy. Sending Upo. Tries to go on the outside and flip it away to Mairead Coyne, but not quite able to hook up with her full-back on that occasion. Ball goes into touch for a Canadian throw.
Initially here at the scrum, we're setting higher. Ireland are setting higher than Canada, so Canada are getting underneath them and they're getting that little nudge. Brilliant by Paula Fitz at the back and Mary Healy to get the ball away and use Niamh Kavanagh coming in again, but you have to get lower than them in the scrum. First line out of the game.
Yes, it is.
That's well taken by JC Gruznik. Magley Harvey into the game. Karen Packin showing up on the wide outside. Good feet there from Allery. Oh, that's a big hit. Nicola Friday on her debut getting into the tackle there. Good hands again, good pressure from Ireland. Alison Miller not quite able to get her foot through to the kick ahead, but they get better pressure. But Canada come again. Blackwood cut down to the great excitement of the crowd who are finding their voice now. It's going to be a penalty to Ireland. The crowd isn't quite as big as last week, probably the effect of the Ireland All Blacks men's game down the road later on today, but certainly get finding their voice there.
Yeah, no, definitely it's great tackle, great turnover there, but you can see the intent and the way Canada are trying to play. They're trying to move the ball just before contact or in contact. It's really exciting rugby.
Big tackles coming in from the host side. As you said, they're really trying to move the ball wide here, and just their defense is flying up and creating all sorts of trouble for Canada as they're trying to spin the ball wide.
Better kick that on that occasion from Nikki Kai to find touch, and Ireland's first real platform inside the Canadian half.
And again, Ireland's first line out, and it'll be interesting to see what they do here. You know, they've a new group together, and it's just the communication and cohesiveness that's needed.
Of course, they're missing Maz Riley, their go-to.
But that was
That's
brilliant.
well taken by Nicola Friday towards the tail. Better from Ireland. It looks like Tessier might have been off her feet trying to play that, but knocked backwards by Fiona Reedy. But again, just those little inaccuracies depriving Ireland of the... Oh, and that's taken out around the side by Kelly Russell. Going to be a penalty to Ireland. So real opportunity now for Nikki Kai to push it into touch close to the Canadian line and put them under real pressure.
Ireland's best position in the game so far. It's just now make sure the line out and see where we go from here.
So Zoe Grattage to throw. High pressure line at this, needs to convert. She's going to take that again. I'm not entirely sure why, but...
They're going with a 6-person line out.
And change, go to the tail. That's loose. Going to be taken by Canada. Have a good little pod there.
Fantastic
Russell
offload
taking
there
on.
from
Laura
Laura
Russell,
Russell.
yeah. Another tip on pass, finds space. Kelly Russell up the pitch. Kicked for the onrushing Magley Harvey. Good race there between Harvey and Miller, two of the speedsters on the pitch. Finds touch just inside the Irish 10-metre line, and has to be said, Fiona, chance blown.
Yeah, Ireland can't give up an opportunity or a position like that so easily, you know. An overthrow at the back of the line out to let Canada on the ball, and brilliant, clever play by Canada. They kept it close, brilliant offload, brilliant break by Kelly Russell down the pitch. We don't see Canada kick the ball too much, but a great little kick in by Emily Bell chose to allow Magley Harvey chase up.
Nicola Friday takes again, that's a bit scrappy, knocked on. Ireland go to the tail on 3 lineouts really, which is high risk stuff.
High risk when Canada weren't competing there at that line out, so you know, keep it simple, a little bit of movement to move them around and just the target.
Great attacking platform here for Canada, about 35 meters out. We've got all their backline on the left-hand side here, Magali, just behind the scrum, so we'll see what offense they have in store here.
Yeah, you'd have to think that this might be use that very attractive looking blindside or 15-metre channel with Magali Harvey. Be interesting to see how she and Alison Miller match up today. That's quite a battle.
Players are very similar speed. Magley's probably a little bit more elusive than Ali. Ali'd be more a fighting through contact type player, but similar on speed rates.
So Chelsea Guthrie feeds the strong Canada scrum. Kelly Russell makes the pass. Magley Harvey comes out to the open side. That's good handling, good movement by Canada. Niamh Kavanagh in on the tackle. Julianne Zussman might have actually fed that one out one more. But Ireland not rolling away. Kelly Russell takes a quick tap penalty. Latoya Blackwood, again very physical. That's knocked on. I think that might have been Dalika Menon with the knock on there.
Yeah, Canada just, it looks like they're trying just a little bit too much. They're trying to go for that one extra pass. I think Kelly made the right decision there, going for a quick tap. She had Latoya Blackwood just off her right shoulder, but it was just knocked on there in the second phase after that. I think that the play that we had went through the hands of the backs. Julianne Zussman had that chance to give it just before going into contact, and I think she just hesitated a little bit too much because Alyssa Allery would have been gone on the outside, and that would have been the last player in the corner.
Again, the Irish come under pressure. Paula Fitz, yeah, gave that away. Handling, oh, it's for whipping the scrum. What do you make of that decision, Fiona?
Yeah, and it was probably right. It went around a little bit too fast. Ireland were under a lot of pressure at the back. If they could have got it out a second earlier, I think Paula would have been away, and we mightn't have got called for the whip.
What do you make of the rule change, law change, to give it its official title, because it is rugby after all, about the wheeling of the scrum, no longer conceding possession? They've never really seemed to be able to make up their mind, the lawmakers, on that particular rule. It seems to change every few years.
I think a lot of the time people don't really know what's going on in the scrum, and it's trying to make a call on it by the referee as well. It's a tough area to know whether someone's actually whipping or whether it's from a drive.
So Andrea Burke just inside the left-hand post there, flirted with it a little bit, but successful nonetheless. So Canada 10, Ireland 0.
You spoke about it earlier about Burke in the summer series. She really was a solid platform for the team to revolve around to 12. She scored a lot of their points, whether it be tries or kicks. She really was a leader in that summer series.
Yeah, she's such an inspirational player. She plays in the inside center. She was a former sevens player, now full-on 15s. Plays for the Capilano Rugby Club in West Vancouver. And whether she's kicking the points or giving pre-game speeches or organizing the players, she's just a dynamic leader on this team.
Again, mistakes been made by both teams. On that occasion, Canada seemed to have secured the restart pretty well, and then it pops out on the Irish side.
There's Nicola Friday there cleaning up for Ireland. Brilliant day for her. Her first cap from Tullamore Rugby Club. It just shows you don't have to be playing Division 1 rugby to be seen by the Irish coaches and getting an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice little show and go there from Fiona Hayes. Nikki Kahi, that's loose though. Ray Coyne will pick it up. Evades the first tackle, taken by the second. But good tidying up. Again, it's just a little bit loose, a little bit frantic from Ireland. Fiona Reedy on that occasion, taken to the line. Nikki Kahi evades a big hit from Blackwood there, but Mary Healy now pops to Zoe Grattage. Senna Niupa at first receiver. Little step. Steps inside Laura Russell. Healy. Anna Kaplis gets her hand on the first ball. Again, not releasing after the tackle though.
You know, this is similar to last week. While Ireland had retained the ball quite well there over a number of phases, they actually weren't going anywhere. They ended up 5 metres back from when they started, and it's something they need to look at. Either penetrate the line or kick over the top into where some of the space might be.
Yeah, we had a lot of that last week where Ireland actually were kind of comfortable in possession, retaining the ball well, but not really making any incisions. And they ended up paying the price.
You have to give credit to Canada's line speed was excellent. They were opening in their face and pushing them back.
Ireland struggled to handle the just physicality and the running power of Kelly Russell. Again, another bust there. And again, opportunity. This time it goes wide. And that's popped back inside. Julianne Zussman takes the return ball from Elisa Allery. Just as you said a few moments ago, Brian, she gave it early enough this time and they got their rewards.
Well, absolutely superb try there from the Canadian backs. It all started from the forwards, like I said earlier, getting the go-forward ball, the Russell sisters connecting, breaking through the line, and then it goes through the hands. Zussman to Allery, she makes the break, back inside to Zussman, and that is just a superb score from the Canadians.
Yeah, so that brings it to 15-0. Worrying for Tom Tierney.
Yeah, like it was always going to be a tough day with so many changes, particularly in the pack. You know, you're against a brilliant team. They really are a super team, and they want to put their best foot forward here in the first game of their November series as well. So they're looking for competition for places as much as Ireland are for going towards the World Cup.
About 28 minutes gone here in the first half. Canada maintaining so much possession here. A few knock-ons and a few bobbles of the ball here and there as Andrea Burke slots the extra 2 points. She is 3 for 3 so far, and Canada now leading 17-0.
So important moments these for Ireland. They need to respond to this in some shape or form. They need a stronger finish to this first half. And as you say, Fiona, perhaps it might be time to look at sticking a few balls in behind that Canadian defence rather than continually trying to take it on ball in hand, which to date hasn't really worked.
We're not getting much change out of the Canadians' defence, so we have to look at some other way of getting in behind them.
Nikki Kahi drops off. Taken again by Russell. Good hit by Alison Miller. Kira Cooney up well with the tackle there, but again, Ireland penalised by referee Marion Lamat. That time going over the ball off their feet. So Magali Harvey will look to go down the line. Sliced it a little, but still finds touch just on the halfway line. So Laura Russell to throw. That's knocked on. It was good pressure from Ireland, but knocked on in trying to flip it back on the Irish side there by, I think it was Kira Cooney.
I think that's where you can see the signs that Canada have only been together for a short space of time, that their communication, that line out, it's a bit unsure of where they're going and what they're at, but I'm sure that's going to develop over the next 9 months, and that's going to be another attacking option for them.
Yeah, Canada's team is not centralized, so they don't live and train together. They're, all across the country, and so when they do get together for a week, they have to, almost relearn everything that the coaching staff is trying to teach them. So they've been together for about a week, 8 days now, and they're playing 3 games in 8 days. Again, Ireland today, New Zealand a few days, and then England. So, like you said, they're just really trying to work out their systems.
Intricate move, and that ends up with a bust from Burke. She looks to find support. Mairead Coyne just about scrags her, takes her down. And you can see Burke was a little bit isolated, having made the incision. Niamh Kavanagh looking to steal that. She's off her feet, she'll have to get out of there. But penalty's actually given against Canadians for not rolling away.
Well, a beautiful back play there into the hands of Andrea Burke, and she slices right up the middle, but good defense there from the Irish, and a great steal.
Two of Canada's signature players, Burke and Kelly Russell, Ireland really struggling to nail them down.
Yeah, there was a bit of a missing link in Ireland's defence there. I think the inside support was a little bit astray from Sene Nupu, and she went out, which let Burke step back inside to create that.
But intricate movement from the Canadian backline. Looks like they've been spending their time together pretty well.
Yeah, well, the backs are led by their coach, Colette McCauley, who had 21 caps for Canada, and she's the coach of Guelph back in Ontario, and she loves working with such a skilled backline. So I think it's pretty good for her to really work some of the systems and intricate plays, as you were seeing.
You've got great club names, Guelph. We don't have any names like that. And I also particularly, like we mentioned this before, Wild Oats, great name.
Yes.
I presume
in Saskatchewan, that's Kayla Mack's club.
There is a joke there about loose forwards or something. Wild Oats, but so
Mairead Coyne seems to be leaving the field. I'd imagine Jackie Shields will come on for her.
disappointed for Mairead Coyne. She's been involved in a couple of collisions, one with Blackwood earlier, and that was a physical tackle there on Andrea Burke, which she came through. Indeed, it is Jackie Shields who takes up position at full back.
You know, Jackie predominantly played in the centre. She's played a few games, club games at 10. She has played full back before, but would be known as a centre more so.
Oh, and that was nearly an intercept from Belchos.
Well, great vision there from Emily Belchos, but just couldn't quite hang on to that ball. It's actually quite incredible that Belchos is still only 21 years old, and she's played in a World Cup final and been a part of the Sevens program for 2 or 3 years now. She's such a strong player despite being only 21 years old.
Ireland a bit more clever at the line out there, just popping a sneaky quick one to the front and low. It's a better scrum by Ireland, a bit more solid, better body position. Sending Upo, bust up the middle, great pass, pops inside. Oh, that's a good solid tackle there, but Ireland have a chance to get a quick ball. Perhaps should have gone wide there, but then wingers weren't actually out there, so perhaps the right decision. Again, that slow ball now from Ireland.
That was really good, really simple from Ireland. Ball to the base, back to Mary Healy, who hit Nikki Coghey, who had the option, Niamh Kavanagh going on the behind Sene Nupu's back, but hit Sene Nupu on that short line, who made a brilliant break, incisive break up the pitch, and supported then by Paula Fitz.
So better from Ireland, encouraging.
It's just about going through the phases. Like, that's one phase, then we've another breakdown into a scrum. We need to build up a few phases, penetrate the line and get in behind them.
Ireland, of course, missing Niamh Briggs, Sophie Spence, and Claire Malloy picked up an injury last week against England, so she's not available either.
Again, it's the time of year when you want to blood these players and build that depth, and that's why you've seen so many changes today, and it's always going to be tough to come out play against one of the best teams in the world with so many changes.
So Healy feeds again. Canada put the pressure on, but Ireland get it away. Mary Healy finds Niamh Kavanagh, but it's not a great pass. She's gobbled up really by JC Gruznik. Again, physical from Blackwood. Anna Kaplis again taking that one in. Kira Cooney. That's not a great pass from Mary Healy, and just fly hacked. Don't see that very often. Forward pass there from the from Carla McEwen.
Again, you see Canada's intent and want to move the ball. Obviously, just overrun a bit there by Emily Belchows.
Well, there's an aggressive intent in Canada's defence. They're attacking Ireland when Ireland have the ball.
Yeah, their line speed is excellent, and it's putting us under all kinds of pressure. We need to look to suck them in a little bit more.
So we've got Niamh Kavanagh taking up the out half position with everybody stepping out. One here, no blind side. So something at foot, but again the pressure comes on and there's not a lot you can do with a ball like that. Again turned over. Niamh Kavanagh has to realign to as Canada go out wide. Newpel putting pressure on. Again though, Burke very strong in the contact area. Speaking of strong in the contact area, Blackwood takes it on. Belshaw's a little shimmy and go. Guthrie now digs it out. Russell, Blackwood. Again, they just look very comfortable with ball in hand. Belshaw's. Menon taking that one in, but Ireland looking for possible turnover, but it's back on the Canada side. Burke again. And there's an opportunity here. Allery again, looking to sniff another. Russell. Guthrie can't have numbers wide here. Warning times again for Tom Tierney. That has to be a penalty. Lazy running from Nicola Friday.
Great phases here from the Canadians as they're working the ball through the hands of the forwards into the backs and trying to just really work it from sideline to sideline here. But they're electing to go with the scrum as they've been just pushing so hard and gaining ground each set piece.
Yeah, it shows Canada's confidence and desire to try things off their scrum. It's a great platform for them. They won every ball and they put Ireland under pressure on Ireland's ball.
Yeah, Ireland have been struggling to get it out, and in fact the last time unable to even do that. So as much as they want to launch a backline, they've got to get this bit right.
Watch Kelly Russell keep this at her feet for as long as possible from the number 8 position.
Picks now. Well done by Healy, but that's taken on by Belchas right under the sticks. Canada, surely a quick ball here will be over.
I'm surprised Kelly Russell opted to go right off that when the scrum was up left. I thought she would have come back left and used her scrum half.
Desperate Irish defence here. And it's a penalty, I think, rather than a try.
Try?
It is a try. Good Lord, it was a strange
No
reaction.
celebration from the Canadians. I don't even think they really knew right off the bat there, but another try for Canada.
Paul Fitzpatrick having a word. That was a bit surreal, but it does appear to be a try to Canada. As Andrea Burke comes back for the conversion. So that takes it out to 22-0. It's conversion to come.
We're not quite sure who scored that try either.
So this kick should take us to half-time. And Tom Tierney will be glad to get his charges in. Just to reorganise. Regard the successful kick again from Burke to take it out to 24-0.
So Andrea Burke 4 for 4 in this first half, 3 conversions and 1 penalty.
That is lead half-time. And out come the minis.
It's brilliant minis. There's a team from each province here. It's a huge opportunity for them again to get to play here at half-time, see their idols play before them and come out at half-time on the pitch and play.
So we look forward to you joining us for the second half. Mountain for Ireland to climb in the second half, but you're happy enough, Brian, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it's been a great first half for Canada. I think Francois Ratier will be happy with the way the first half went. You know, plenty of tries, plenty of excitement, sideline to sideline. I think Kelly Russell's had a great first half, but there's just been too many mistakes. A couple of knock-ons, a couple of turnovers, and a couple of missed tackles in the midfield. But overall, a very strong first half from the Canadians, and I think they'll be excited to come back out in about 10 minutes' time.
Okay, look forward to you rejoining us in 10. Cheers.
A small island on the edge of the world, before the New World. And its people traveled the world, taking their place in the memory of the world. And the years passed and the world changed, and that island on the edge of the world found itself in the center of the world, connecting the world, making the world smaller by thinking big, dreaming dreams the world could share, sharing with the world our own very special part of the world. And what have we discovered on this little island in the middle of the world? We've discovered the world likes the way we do things, and there's nothing in this world we can't achieve. Imagine a tournament, the envy of the world, a festival of rugby. More than participation, celebration, a world of memories for the world to share. We're ready to create something unforgettable. Ireland, ready for the world.
It'll bring memories of past glories. It'll bring new heights of belief and ambition. It'll bring the boldest hopes and the bravest dreams. It'll bring everyone to their feet. It'll bring a roar into every voice. It'll bring this great game into a nation's heart. It'll bring the world to us and us to the world. Women's Rugby World Cup, Ireland, August 2017. Bring it.
So welcome back to Belfield for the second half of Ireland women against Canada. If Ireland thought they had a tough challenge at the outset, it's many times that now as they trail 24 points to nil. I'm joined by Brian Kelly, comms and media manager for Canada, and Fiona Coughlin. And we're just looking to see if there are any changes on the Irish side.
Plenty of changes, a full front row change on the Irish side, and also into the second row comes Elaine Anthony. So we've Leah Lyons get another cap at hooker, normally a prop, Ailish Egan on, Lindsay Peat on in the front row, Elaine Anthony on in the second row. I'm not sure who Elaine Anthony's come on in place of. I think it could be Nicola Friday.
Oh, that's well taken by Karen Packin off the kickoff.
No changes for Canada to start this second half. Francois likes what he saw in that first half.
Tom's clearly trying to shore up the Irish scrum in particular with a brand new front row.
We also have Claire McLaughlin on in the centre, I think. And okay, so loads of raft changes. Larissa Muldoon is on at scrum half. I think Sene Nupu could have gone to 9. Nicole Fowley 12 and Claire McLaughlin 13.
I think Sene Nupu's still out in the centre there. Oh, good pressure there from Lindsay Peat, but offside. Jumped the gun a bit on that one. It's an early chance for Canada to put some pressure on Ireland second half.
Sorry, that second row change was Elaine Anthony on for Katie Norris because Nicola Friday is actually injured there now on the ground. You know, when we talk about players making the transfer back from sevens and a brilliant Olympic sevens for the Canadian girls, Kelly Russell doesn't seem to be anyway rusty in the 15s game. She's really taken to this from the start and continuing her good form that she left off in the World Cup in 2014.
Well, absolutely. She had such an integral role of Canada's Rio bronze medal winning team, and you know she retired from the sevens game on top, as to say, with a medal around her neck. And she's been playing the last few months with the Cowichan Rugby Club on Vancouver Island, trying to get back into the swing of 15s. There's obviously a lot more contact and a lot more go forward ball, and she plays such a leadership role from the base of the scrum there for this Canadian side. And and Karen Paquin and is also coming back to the 15s game, and she's on the flank for Canada. Such a fast player and just great around the contact area and so fast as well.
Pretty quick off the mark on the kickoff there, taking that restart. That's worrying signs for Nicola Friday. She's down in a kind of prone position and looks like a head injury, so all due care and attention being
Nikki
taken.
Caughey is rejoining the field now, so we're not quite sure who's going to go off for her. Claire McLaughlin is back off again. Change again. Nicole Fowley is actually coming off and Claire McLaughlin's gone back on, so I'm not sure whether there was a blood sub made just before or during half time for Nikki Caughey.
So happy to report that Nicola Friday is up and about and taking her position in the defensive line. Magali Harvey looks to go down the line. So Canada throw in just inside the Irish 22. 10 metres inside the Irish 22 actually. Taken at the front, wrapped around nicely. Blackwood takes it on. Guthrie now, nice pass out. Belchus, Burke, Paquin, held up in midfield by Senanupo, but finally gets to deck. Again, Canada look to go wide. That's
Kayla Mack taking that
Kayla
ball
Mack
and
taking it up, yeah.
trying to do one too many passes there, and now it's into the Irish hands just outside the 22.
Nikki Caughey using the boot. She hasn't done that a whole heap. So Canada look to run back. Zussman taken just inside the Irish half. Crowd claiming something on that far side, not happy with what they're seeing. But Guthrie digs it out. Laura Russell takes it on. Bit of indecision there in the Canada backline. Senanupa comes up, puts pressure on. Alison Miller on top of JC Groznik. Bit sloppy that time from Canada. Ireland getting some decent yardage out of that. Paula Fitzpatrick in on the tackle. Canada have good numbers there though. Again, Burke takes it on. She's a good distributor. Laura Russell taking her on off her shoulder. It's robbed by Ireland. Marissa Muldoon on, but that's sloppy from Ireland again. Ciara Cooney spins around. Nikki Caughey now. Good pressure from Magali Harvey with Nooper, manages to offload well. Alison Miller, first time really getting ball in hand. Well taken though by Zussman. Nicola Friday punches that one up. A bit better from Ireland, better continuity. Leah Lyons looks to smuggle that one away, successfully does so. Anna Kaplis on that ball. Better continuity has to be said from Ireland, Fiona.
Yeah, it was a great turnover originally by Elaine Anthony and then moving the ball across the park. But we look, Canada actually have no wingers back. All they have is their full back, so there's space in there behind for a little chink over the line.
Lindsay Pete rolling around with that one. Leah Lyons into support. Muldoon. Caughey now, as you pointed out, cleverly kicks that one in behind. Finds good position, 10-15 metres out from the Canada try line.
Yeah, that's where the space is, and good vision by Nikki to put it in there. You know, I think Larissa Muldoon has to stop taking those 2 steps off the base of the ruck, because that's allowing Canada time to get back up on into the Irish face and closing them down at any opportunity.
Elaine Anthony putting pressure on, but Canada taking that safely at 2. Kelly Russell again punching it up. And that's cleared, but not all that effectively.
Bit of hesitation there from Chelsea Guthrie, trying to find Emily Belchos for the clearance kick. She stuttered a little bit and put Belchos under a bit too much pressure and didn't quite get the distance on the kick that she wanted on that.
So Tom Tierney's changes at halftime have had, we'll see if it can be a sustained effect, but certainly Ireland have upped their performance a bit in this the second half. The Alliance to the tail. Nicola Friday takes. Paula Fitz punches it up, tackled by Paquin. Better continue from the island, and that's a clean bust. Alka Police taking that one on. Senanupo shaped as if to dink it in behind, but takes it on. Muldoon now. Paula Fitzpatrick, Lindsay Peat. Ireland have numbers right if they can move it quickly. Canada defence reorganised. Lane Anthony takes it on. Lindsay Peat again. That's well taken in the end by two Canadian players. Again, there's an opportunity here for Ireland. Big hit. That looks like Latoya Blackwood is down. Leah Lyons taking that one on. Ireland's best position of the game by some distance. Muldoon away. Nikki Kai, is she in? Yes, she is. Super score from Ireland. Great continuity, much better.
Excellent sustained pressure by Ireland. It all started off a line out, good line out, and then in the second phase of that, you had two new caps, Nicola Friday tipping it on to Anna Caprice for a good ruck, and then got through the phases, went through the phases over to the left-hand side of the pitch and then back over to the right-hand side, and really good by Nikki, stepping back inside and powering over for a brilliant try.
It's a long way to go, but it's a step in the right direction. 24-5 now to Canada with the conversion to come.
Well, the changes put on by the coach at halftime are paying dividend here. That's about 5 minutes of solid pressure completely for this Irish team. And Canada huddled just to the right of the post. They need to bring back some of that momentum and a bit of the energy that they had in that first half.
So, Nikki Kai forgetting to take the conversion. She jogs over now. Don't think I've seen that before.
Those front row replacements making big carries and big yards on their carries, which is encouraging to see. Fresh legs coming off the bench.
Yeah, Lane Anthony prominent as well off that. Cahy's kick just about makes it over. Super strike from a difficult position. So converting her own try, that makes it 24-7 to Canada.
It's important now off this kick-off that Ireland gather and then they look for field position and play it back down in Canada's half. There's no point in playing around this part of the pitch.
Yeah, I think what was central to that was actually a very good kick in behind. You identified, Fiona, that the Canadian wings were staying right up in the line. So there is space behind there.
Blackwood has now gone off.
Yeah, she shipped a big knock there in the build-up to that score. Lindsay Peat takes. Good hands from the ex-basketball captain of Ireland. Ciara Cooney taking that one on. Canada looking to get a few replacements of their own brought on.
Canada's playing with 14 players on the field right now. Latoya Blackwood has left, and the subs were down at the other end of the field. And Bookaboom is trying to get onto the pitch as quickly as possible, but Canada has 14 players on the field right now.
And Nikki Kai making use of that extra space. Great run up to the centre there. Ultimately knocked down, and then a penalty, I think, for a high tackle against Ireland.
And now Bookaboom is stepping onto the field, so we'll see what happens with Latoya Blackwood. But first substitution of the game here coming for Francois Ratier's side. Tyson Bookaboom is from the Aurora Barbarians, originally from Uxbridge, Ontario. Cousin Brett is playing for the men's team today against Ireland in Bucharest.
Bucharest.
Pardon me. Romania in Bucharest.
Ireland have a slightly different fixture today.
Yeah, great line out there by Canada, but truck and trailer when they came down to set up the maul, so it's a scrum to Ireland.
And just little mistakes offering Ireland some encouragement here.
be good to see now whether this front row changes for Ireland make the difference in the scrum as well as they do in open play.
So once again, Niamh Kavanagh coming off the blindside wing to threaten in open side.
Niamh did well on the carry she took last week, and again here today she just needs to look to get her hands on the ball a little bit more. She gets go forward ball, big strong ball carrier.
That Irish scrum still under pressure, but better than it was in the first half. It's not a great pass to send in an Upu from Nikki Kai, but she takes it well, spins around. It's very lateral running, but well done by Anna Kaplis there to spin out of that tackle. Ciara Cooney taking on now. Paquin making a bit of a nuisance herself there, but rolling away, getting away with that. Paula Fitzpatrick takes that up, but not releasing in the tackle quite clearly there.
Well done there by Daleka Menon, first player there, and just got her hands on the ball right away, forcing the turnover.
I think these are key learnings for Ireland. They need to learn when the player is going to take the ball in, that they're there to support them. Getting isolated like that in this position is just not good enough.
So Magali Harvey pushes that one down just to the Irish 22. Again, decent platform for Canada here. The whistle goes to 4. The referee not happy with something. He's going to take it again. Long delay. They get away with it. It's well taken. Crisp ball off the top. Andrea Burke is well taken there actually by Nikki Kahi.
Wide passes coming from the 9 to Belchos, then Belchos to Burke, giving the defense a lot of time to come up and put tons of pressure on this Canadian team.
Again, Claire McLaughlin in on that one on Magali Harvey. It's good pressure from Ireland. Buka Boom getting her hands on the ball first time. But this is threatening position here. Canada have wide, players wide, a lot of space. Alison Miller doesn't make the tackle, and this is not quite there. I thought she was going to make it to the corner. Ireland scramble defence just doing enough.
I think JC could have gone into the corner there.
I
Didn't
thought
quite
so.
back
She
herself.
Didn't quite back the pace, no. That's turned over by Alan Lindsay Pete, taking that one on. Nikki Kai away, that's not going to find touch. Magali Harvey pops to Guzman, heads for the wide open spaces. Sending Upo after her. Niamh Kavanagh is not going to catch Belchos, who is just over for the try. Yeah, there was a great despairing tackle came in at the last second, which I thought might have held her up short, but actually she made it.
So Canada capitalizing on that pressure. I thought JC Gruznik, was going to touch down in the corner, but finds its way off to Emily Belchos, who scores in the left corner with a great setup from Julianne Zussman.
Poor defence there by Ireland. They got sucked in a little bit too easy in the middle of the park. They created the space out here for Gruznik. Again, she should have backed herself. She definitely would have made it to the corner with her pace. Ireland did well then to kind of regather, but to allow Canada to run back right in the other side of the wing is just not good enough.
As soon as Nikki Kahi found Magali Harvey with the kick in open field, it was looking dangerous, and so it proved as Belchos made it in the corner. So that brings it to Canada 29, Ireland 7. Conversion to come from Andrea Burke. Good strike, but not quite going to have the legs, I don't think. No, under the post, so it will remain 29-5, or 29-7 rather. And the early improvement from Ireland in the second half has been countered well by Canada.
Well, second substitution for Canada. Congratulations to Mackenzie Higgs, who's stepping on the field for her first test cap for Canada. She's taking the place of Emily Belchos, the try scorer.
So Connie to restart. Goes deep to Harvey, who's been kind of quiet. She was involved in the build up to that, but haven't really seen her get a chance to show her pace. She does now pop it open. That's good expansive play from Canada, refusing the simple kick option. Good hit. Bukaboom taken on. Lindsay Peat off her feet. She's going to have a word here. Yellow.
That was excellent play here by Paquin on the touchline. Know how close she was, forcing her way back in and creating it. That really wasn't good enough there by Lindsay Peat, giving away a cheap penalty and getting herself carded. Leah Lyons seems to be going off their head injury. Not sure if it's blood or HIA. So Zoe Gradage will probably look to come back on the pitch.
Yeah, looks like Zoe Gradage coming on. So down to 14. It ain't getting any easier for Ireland.
And at the next scrum, we'll see one of our back rows departing for a prop to come on, which looks like it'll be Fiona Hayes.
So Laura Russell to throw. Again, efficient line out from Canada. First touch for Higgs. Good hit there, but great timing on the pass, and that's Paquin away. Finds her winger early, but again, the Irish wide defence just about scrambling. Bukaboom now takes on.
I think you have to see some of Paquin's speed there and why she's made it so well in the sevens game as well.
Oh, that's a penalty to Ireland for coming off their feet, but actually I thought that was a bit harsh, I have to say. I thought there was very good body position by the Irish defender there.
Well, superb handling there from the Canadians, taking the ball at absolute pace, spinning off their right hand and just showing the pace of Karen Paquin on the outside. Just a threat from anywhere on the field.
Yeah, it's beautiful timing on the pass and the timing of the run from Paquin. So Harvey dinks that one in, and Ireland again find themselves under pressure just 7 metres away from their own try line. Yeah, taking at the front. Ireland take that down. And it looks like a turnover ball. That's well defended there by Ireland. Nikki Kai under pressure from Paquin, just about gets it away. But Paquin doing well there to prevent her from getting any real yardage on the touch. It's not far behind where the last throw was taken.
I think again it's Canada's lack of time together. Anytime they try to set up a maul, a kind of truck and trailer or get pulled down, they just don't have that cohesiveness yet, but again no doubt it will come.
Taken by Groznik. Again, Ireland just slow it down initially, but Canada get a second momentum on that. Keeping it in tight, Canada. That's a good bust again. They're just a matter of 2 metres away from the Irish line now. Going out wide this time, Burke, but she's gobbled up in midfield. That's good pressure from Alison Miller. Gets up, puts the pressure on, then regathers, but knocked on as she effected the tackle.
Great defense there by the Irish. Zussman tried to get the ball through the hands as quickly as possible, but just bounced off the Irish defender. So we'll have a scrum down, Canadian ball.
Looks like Fiona Hayes is going to come back on because of the yellow. Karen Pacan is about to come off. But not yet. She's going to pack down here.
Stepping on the
Here
field
she
now
comes now.
for Canada as well. Barbara Mervyn in replacement of Karen Paquin on the open side flanker position.
And Anna Caplice is coming off for Ireland there to allow the prop sub in for the yellow card.
So once more, tremendous field position here for Canada. Magali Harvey threatening just on the open side.
So one person advantage in the pack. Ireland's been struggling in the pack, so it'll be interesting to see whether that numerical advantage will hold for Canada in this scrum.
Canada still with a one-player advantage from the yellow card.
And Russell goes short side. Padna Bukaboom, who's carried well since coming on. McEwen now. Canada showing good patience. Elaine Anthony just holding up that. Again, Canada patiently just rolling around, taking the time. Before moving it wide. It wasn't a great pass, but well taken by Russell. Fine all-round player. Again, just a matter of a metre from the line. You feel it's inevitable because Ireland aren't really getting in to discommode them, and indeed, Canada score again.
Looks like it's in the hands of Laura Russell, diving over that last meter. Another great forwards try for the Canadians.
Great control pressure by Canada, sucking in Ireland. Kelly Russell, every time she's on the ball, she's taking 3 players out of the game, but really good pressure, and they go in pods of 3 that they've people there to ruck over and set it up again.
So that brings it out to Canada 34, Ireland 7. Conversion still to come. She'll push it to 36. But great patience there from Canada. There was no sense of panic as they just gradually
3 more
strangled
substitutions
Ireland.
coming on for Canada. Number 18, Demi Stamatakis. Olivia Demarchant.
Oh, you know it's your day.
As the
As
conversion.
that Andrea Berg knocks it over the bar via the right hand upright.
Brianna Miller and Brittany Waters also on, so plenty of changes coming in for this Canadian side.
Likewise, Ratier wants to probably build the depth in his squad going towards the World Cup. You're here with 23 players on match day. How many travelled with the squad?
27 in the squad. There's been 1 injury, so they're down to 26. And so, yeah, like I said, 3 games in 8 days. You really have to take care of the bodies and quality opposition in all 3 games. So Ratier is looking to really make sure that everybody's getting quality game time and, you know, working the systems that his coaching staff has brought into this team.
Well, he must be pretty happy with his charges so far today. They've been very impressive, it has to be said. It's a good hit there, though, by Ireland in the 15-metre channel, putting a temporary halt to Canada's march. But they've retained possession. Olivia Demarchant getting her first hands on ball. Electing to kick that. They had numbers wide. As Alison Miller goes back, bit of confusion between Miller and Claire McLaughlin as to who's to take that, but Miller taking it in the end. Side entry from Canada. Thought that was a fraction harsh as they were driving over the ball well.
Canada did have numbers, but the space was also in behind as the Irish winger Miller was up, so they had 2 options there to choose from. Worked out well for Ireland, though, with a penalty.
Nicky Carhy not getting huge yardage on that, has to be said.
Chloe Pierce has made her way onto the pitch for Annika Peace, I think.
And congratulations to Gillian Bogue stepping on the field now in replacement of Laura Russell. That's her first cap for Canada.
Oh, it's picked off by Canada at the front. That was intended for Elaine Anthony at 4, but well picked up by Canada as Laura Russell again makes a bit of yardage. Nice crisp passing from Canada at the line. Guzman now, she's away. Pops back inside, that's great continuity, good support. They play a very exciting brand of rugby, Canada, has to be said, Brian.
Yeah, Zussman and Brittany Waters both play with the Castaway Wanderers Rugby Club in Victoria. They won the provincial championship last.
And they have the best name.
Castaway Wanderers, yes. And they won the provincial championship last year.
Nelson Miller goes up to make the bus, but doesn't quite get it. Magley Harvey with her pace surely steps inside the last tackler, and indeed she goes over. And first chance really to see Magley Harvey in full flow.
One of the world's greatest finishers in the 15 and 7s games. So much pace, the ability to just outstep the defenders, and you just saw it right there, picking up where she left off from 2014.
That was brilliant by Canada. It all started here from their own 10-metre line. They moved it out to the left-hand side, break up the wing, then moved it back here to Magley Harvey. Ireland had been sucked in. A lot of work for Alison Miller and Jackie Shields to do coming across, but you're not going to catch Harvey in that amount of space.
Yeah, Alison Miller just not quite timing it there. She went for the man and all tackle, and but the intended victim was able to just get it away in time to Magley Harvey, and then she was able to use her pace to get in. But beautiful try, every facet of the game, from crisp line out to punching up the middle, good pace out wide, good support, good hands, great offload, great pace at the end.
And when you consider the small amount of time that Canada have had together, how exciting it is going forward. Will they have many opportunities between now and the World Cup to get together again?
So there's going to be 2 more opportunities. They're looking to play a Can-Am series against the United States, likely in April. Still working on the details of that. And then a New Zealand tour next June, likely playing against some of the best opposition down in the Southern Hemisphere. And then they'll get together about 2 weeks before the World Cup and have another training camp here in Dublin, and then get ready to open it in the second week of August.
Tough pool they've been drawn in against New Zealand.
Yeah, but Francois Ratier, as soon as the announcement happened, he said, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. So it, however the draw went, that's the way it goes, and that's your competition when you get to Dublin next year.
And in the other big game in this sort of 14 November series, New Zealand have beaten England by 25 points to 20. So another tight game there.
Yeah, come from behind victory there for the Black Ferns, and Canada will be studying the tape because they face off in Donnybrook in a few days here in Dublin.
Yeah, England seemed well in control in that game at half-time and going well into the second half, but New Zealand really kicked in the second half. But, it's brilliant to see these teams getting the opportunity again to play in this November series, and top 5 teams playing in the world. And then Canada play France? Oh, France play USA, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, France play USA as well next week.
So that Irish scrum is back at full strength now. I think Lindsay Pete's back on. And it's a bit better. Good pressure from Muldoon. Oh, but again, Canada just move it away. Miller on Harvey. Good tackle this time. Good pressure from Ireland there. Elaine Anthony tries to go in and pick it off the ground, but blown away off it. Gillian Bowe gets her hands on it. Again, Burke, she's an exciting running. That was a high contact. Referee happy enough with it though. Oh, a little flip through the legs there. So Canada really starting to show all the skills.
Great offloading in contact here from the Canadians.
Guzman again, Burke. Pop back inside to Magley Harvey. Back to Burke. Again, Canada's ball control. I mean, they've just moved 40 yards. I'm really struggling to disrupt them and to knock them out of their rhythm, which is, even though they have a lot of subs on now, the rhythm is still very good. Bogue again, good strength. Canadian line screaming for that ball to get moved. But again, they're happy enough taking it in tight. Burke again. Harvey and Miller. Harvey and Miller not quite able to get back to her. Good tackle in the end from Nikki Cahy.
Harvey's footwork is just absolutely outstanding. She can stand a player up on a sixpence. Just brilliant.
Again, Canada just relentlessly pouring forward here. More desperate defence from Ireland, close to their own line. Referee Lamet comes around. Held up is a decision.
Really impressive phase work here from Canada, just keeping the ball in hand, driving forward, in the backs, in the forwards. Magali stepping inside, outside on her defender. Couldn't quite get to that line. Well, we'll have another ball here for Canada, just about 6 or 7 meters away from the try line.
This little delay here while Elaine Anthony is attended to.
Canada have called for the scrum.
Canada calling for the scrum on the penalty option.
The strength of their scrum so far in this claim is clever option, good attacking platform.
So just about 9 minutes left in the game. And at this stage, I'll just be looking to restrict any further damage, Fiona.
Yeah, Canada are in such a strong position here now that you do see them going over for something the way that they've been playing the last 10 minutes.
It's a better scrum by Ireland. That's a very good scrum by Ireland. Is that turned over? Not quite, but scraggy ball. And out of nowhere, that was Ireland's best scrum of the match.
Don't know whether it was Canada getting complacent or Ireland actually just getting together as an 8.
So Mackenzie Higgs taking that one on. Still, we're back to more desperate defence from Ireland. Looking to hold that one up. But Canada again, comfortable possession.
They really have Ireland sucked in there. If they did look to throw a bit of width in and get a few players out, the space would be out here.
Yes, I would say Magali Harvey is 40 yards outside the
Crossfield kick.
last defender. But Ireland holding out on that occasion. The reward is a scrum, which after the last one may not be as bad as it had been before. Interesting to see if they can sustain that. Nia Lyons has returned in some fairly fetching headgear there. Again, actually, if they choose to go for it, the cross kick is definitely on here. Alison Miller just outside the Irish post. Magali Harvey 10 in from the right touchline.
Andrea Burke
Again, a
standing
good
in
scrum from Ireland. And out of nowhere, they've discovered some power in that scrum, and that's two that they've disrupted. However, Canada have managed to retain it and again pour forward. And the short side, but that's loose passing. Niamh Kavanagh looking to snaffle it, but Canada going down well in it. However, as the crowd will tell you, holding on to the tackle, penalty to Ireland.
Disappointing two set pieces there, pardon me, from Canada. They're going backwards, sloppy ball from the back of the scrum. I'm sure they're going to have to look at that one nearing the end of this game.
Yeah, no, that was well done by Ireland. They held Canada up on the line for so long, and then to win back to put pressure under two scrums was outstanding. And then a great chase up there by Niamh Kavanagh to get a turnover ball. So again, space in behind. Canada are playing 4 up.
Got a line out from Ireland. Senna Nupa has stepped into the at-half position here. Muldoon marshals her troops just to roll one around. Oh, it's not a great pass from Muldoon, just behind Nupa, who has to check back. Ireland still have the ball though. Again, they kick on for a bit, pops back into the hands of Alison Miller. Good fight between she and Harvey there as Harvey tried to get hands on the ball. Lindsay Peat now trucking that one forward. That's a great strong position from, is it?
Merchant.
From Olivia de Merchant. Super body position there, forces the penalty for holding on.
Time for one last line out here for Canada, deep inside Ireland territory. We'll see if they can...
That's a great kick from Harvey.
Yes, just
just on the 5 metre.
I think prior to that, Ireland had identified that there was space in behind, and they'd moved Nikki Cohey out into the wider channels to look for the kick. However, poor ball to Senna Nupu put Ireland under pressure, and then Ireland continued to be under pressure when Nikki Cohey got the ball and it was blocked down.
Kind of take at the front. Good momentum here. Ireland take it down. Julian Bogan on that. Again, Canada keeping it nice and tight, patient. Russell goes wide now. Burke, there's loads of space here. Canada will surely run this in. Gooseman indeed.
Well, another score there for Julianne Zussman as Canada just worked the ball easily through the hands. Great job there by the forwards to draw in about 10 or 12 of the Irish defenders, and it just simple hands out wide for another try.
Yeah, Canada had a 3% overlap there, so Ireland have to ask questions to the defence. They have to stop it at source and not allow players to get sucked in like that.
So that brings it out to 48 points to 7. Conversion will take it to a rather ugly half century. And she's been pretty flawless with her kicking today, Andrea Burke.
You know, and having two goal kickers of the quality of herself and Magali Harvey on the pitch is brilliant for any team.
Yeah, it's fantastic for this side to be able to have so many different leaders that can step up through various leadership roles on this team. And as you've seen, Andrea Burke has been, slotting these conversions and penalties throughout the game. And I believe, yeah, like you said, Magali could step in at any moment as well.
No.
Yeah, obviously she was never going to get it after that.
We jinxed her. Yeah.
Works every time.
I think this will be a huge learning curve for Ireland. Obviously lots of changes, and as they say, you definitely learn more from losing than you do from winning. And they'll go away from this, regroup, and then look at New Zealand coming next weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think you'll know better, obviously, Fiona, but the experience in the last World Cup was that just not enough roles been shared around, and therefore, when it came to after the New Zealand match, just tired bodies.
Yeah. games every 4 days are very tough.
Yeah.
Great power there from Gillian Bogue.
She's been impressive since coming on, Gillian Bogue. Good hit from Elaine Anthony there. Buchanan again, Canada comfortably just spinning balls wide.
It's spinning balls right, but they're making gain line then when the hit comes.
Yeah,
so.
there's always pace at the end of it. But Ireland getting that one into touch. As referee on net just blows the final whistle, and oh Canada, what have you done to us?
Thank you very much for that praise there. Things went very well for us here today, 48-7, and as you asked earlier on, what type of game plan Canada will be playing, and strong up front in the forwards, led by the captain Kelly Russell, and some great pace and skill out wide by the backs.
I think coming into this game, we knew what we were going to see from Canada, that they were going to be making out a statement of intent on the start of this summer tour, and I think they put their foot down, stamped down firmly today. And the Irish girls will learn a lesson from that: how to move the ball, how to take it up and penetrate the line, and then move the ball again.
That doesn't get any easier for Ireland. We've got New Zealand up next week, but look, that's the value of the November series, is getting valuable experience to a wide range of girls, and getting a stronger squad for the Six Nations and for the Rugby World Cup coming up. Brian, thank you very much for joining us. It's been great to have you along this afternoon. And
I think it's a point to note that Canada do play New Zealand and Donnybrook this coming Wednesday.
Indeed.
So anyone around should get out and support them. I'm sure it'll be another
that'll be
fine game
an
of rugby.
absolutely cracking game of football based on what we've seen from Canada today.
Yeah, we played New Zealand twice in 2014 before the World Cup. 2 really close games with them, and we're looking forward to another one here. So yeah, thanks very much for having me. You guys have been superb hosts, and we're really looking forward to this tour and next year's World Cup. We know you guys are going to put on a great show to the world, and as I was saying at the break, Rugby Canada officially supported the IRFU's bid to host the 2023 World Cup here, and
which we are enormously grateful. That is absolutely fantastic. We didn't need to be quite so generous as hosts today, but no, it's brilliant that Canada is supporting the Irish bid. Every vote matters.
Everything that's been done around the Women's World Cup, it's a stepping stone what it could come for the men's if it came here as well.
Of course, and I know you guys are going to do a great job. The Irish culture is so ingrained among Canadian society. We're talking about it yesterday, that there's the Calgary Irish, Ottawa Irish. There's about 5 or 6 clubs from coast to coast that are named the Irish, and
you've got all those mad Newfies that speak with West Cork accents.
Yes, exactly.
But we'll wrap it up here today. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a tough day for Ireland, a great day for Canada, but valuable experience all around. And we look forward to you joining us next week when Ireland take on New Zealand. And best of luck to Canada during the week against New Zealand as well.
Thank you, guys.
This one?
John.
Long before anyone can remember, there was a small island on the edge of the world, the last stop before the new world. And its people traveled the world, taking their place in the memory of the world. And the years passed and the world changed, and that island on the edge of the world found itself in the center of the world, connecting the world, making the world smaller by thinking big, dreaming dreams the world could share, sharing with the world our own very special part of the world. And what have we discovered on this little island in the middle of the world? We've discovered the world likes the way we do things, and there's nothing in this world we can't achieve. Imagine a tournament, the envy of the world, a festival of rugby. More than participation, celebration, a world of memories for the world to share. We're ready to create something unforgettable. Ireland, ready for the world.
It'll bring memories of past glories. It'll bring new heights of belief and ambition. It'll bring the boldest hopes and the bravest dreams. It'll bring everyone to their feet. It'll bring a roar into every voice. It'll bring this great game into a nation's heart. It'll bring the world to us and us to the world. Women's Rugby World Cup, Ireland, August 2017. Bring it.